So if you are thinking about moving to Boynton Beach, Florida, or really anywhere in this area, this is a video you're going to want to see. Today, we're going to talk about the pros and cons of living in Boynton Beach, Florida. Let's kick it off with a pro. Number one, the number one pro, in my opinion, of living in Boynton Beach is, well, obviously the beach, but it's such a good location. It's center in Palm Beach. It's really close to Delray Beach down that way. It's really close to Palm Beach up that way. It's right in the middle of everything. We're going to go over some of the aspects of living here, but this is where it all started. It started on the beach. It is a beautiful beach. Now, how do I compare it to the other beaches? It's, I give it a B. I give it a B or C. In my opinion, the best beaches are up north in Palm Beach, like Juno Beach and Jupiter Beach, but this is a good one. I came here a week and a half ago on a Saturday, and I couldn't find a parking spot. It was a Saturday, it was 12 noon, it was so popular. But now here I am during the week, and it's easy for us to see what it's all about. And as you can see, there are people here, but it's not one of the most crowded beaches, but like all things on the East Coast and Palm Beach in Florida, it's beautiful. So as I say, the number one pro is the location, and the number two pro is the beach here at Boynton Beach. This is where the inlet is as well. I don't know how well you can see it back there. There's an inlet with people fishing off it. There's a second pier down the way as well where people are fishing. There's a big area for fishing. In a minute, I'll show you a little bit of at least some B-roll of the inlet itself. One of the pros, I'm going to start with a lot of pros. I'll go through a couple cons in a minute. One of the pros when it comes to living here in Boynton Beach and this specific area of Boynton Beach is if you want to eat at a restaurant off the beach, you can do it here. One of the cons when it comes to living in Boynton Beach, Florida, if you want to live off this, let's say up there where those beautiful palm trees are and up there, it's going to cost you a fortune. Some of the homes off the beach here are between Delray Beach and up to West Palm Beach. It'll cost you tens of millions of dollars. Now, the average price in Palm Beach as a whole is about $650,000. So you can live in Palm Beach and not necessarily have to spend $20 million on an oceanfront mansion overlooking this beautiful ocean. But if you want to get close to the beach, there's a price to pay. Here at Living in Palm Beach, Florida, I always say we live in Realville. So I sometimes get people that say, I want a place on the beach, I want a big backyard, I want, my budget's $500,000. It's not going to do it here. So in general, if you're living on the beach, and later we're going to bring you out to some of the western part where there's a lot more backyard and it's still close to the beach, close enough as a drive. We're going to show you something. That's where the people are moving. But here, if you're buying a place on or near the beach of Boynton Beach, in general, don't expect to have a really big backyard, or for that matter, don't expect to have a new home. And this is typical of a lot of Palm Beach. You got to appreciate that. Palm Beach is about 1.5 million people from about 40 miles north to south from Boca Raton up to Jupiter. And most of the population early on, when they start settling this area, started right here, started on the beach. Everyone, why not? As we are progressing, as this community is developing, more and more people are moving or building out west. In fact, all the builders, which we're going to discuss later, all the prominent builders in Palm Beach are buying land out there and building out there. One of the biggest builders that owns a lot of what you're going to see in western Boynton Beach is GL Homes. So here we are at the actual inlet. I've seen like jet skis come through here. We've got a big boat going here. A lot of fishing boats come through here. Florida, this part of Florida especially, we are the fishing capital of the world. We are the boating capital. There's Deep Blue. We are the boating capital of the world. So if you're into fishing, boating, or really any water sports, this is the place to be. If you wake up here in the morning on whether it's Boynton Beach or up north on Juno Beach or Jupiter Beach, you will see a lot of people. They have piers in Lake Worth Beach, actually, which is just up that way, not too far up that way. You will see people early morning fishing there off the inlets and off these long piers, like they're doing this to here today. In the morning, though, is when you get your best. When it comes to fishing, that's when you get your best shot. Now, there are some condos here, but not like you see in other parts of Palm Beach. Like West Palm Beach is like, there's a ton of nice big condos, expensive condos, $6 million type of stuff. I do know of some affordable new ones. If you're buying a condo, if you're looking at Palm Beach, here living in Palm Beach, we'll go through this later, but we help people move to this area. And one of the things I always tell people are looking at prices, and without regard to whether it's a condo or not, just be careful, because there's been regulation in recent years that makes it somewhat of a risk, and some attention to what you're getting yourself into is warranted. Most of the time that we're working with people moving down here from up north or other parts of the country, whether it's West or Europe or really anywhere around the world, we're looking more at single family homes. That's our niche. And that's also where it's our niche, because that's what you guys are asking for. Single family homes with a little bit more land. You can live in, we'll go to them later, you can live in some newer construction homes west of here, and you can still be here in this part of Boynton Beach in 20, 30 minutes. So about a half hour, and you get this. Again, location is what's important here. Delray Beach is literally the next town down here, just town to south here. If you haven't seen it already, go to one of our videos, living in the pros and cons of living in Delray Beach. It is a very active nightlife, very active restaurant life. They have an intercoastal where they have boat chicken takeout. It's just a lot to do there. It's just it's one of the things when people are staying here or visiting. It's a place that a lot of people do visit. Just west of there are some of the newer construction communities that we're going to cover. Up this way, we have the famous Palm Beach. Adjacent to that is the biggest city in Palm Beach, which is West Palm Beach. But here in Boynton Beach, we are the third. This is the third biggest city in Palm Beach. There's about 80,000 people live here. But it feels like if you go to the most other parts, one of the pros when it comes to, if you're used to the suburbs, one of the pros about moving to Boynton Beach, most of the places are exactly like that. In fact, I'd say Palm Beach as a whole is like one big suburb. So I'll take you to some of the shopping that they have here. There is a lot of shopping in Boynton Beach. Now, is it the higher end shopping? Not really. So that's one of the cons when it comes to living in Boynton Beach, is the shopping could be, the shopping is not exactly high end in general, but there's a lot of stuff, middle America goods type of stuff. If you're looking in Palm Beach and you want to look at the higher end places in terms of like the malls, I always tell people, go to the nearby malls and see what stores are in there. If you go to Palm Beach Gardens, if you go to the Gardens Mall, you see Bloomingdale's, you see Gucci, you see Brooks Brothers. It's the same down there. The Boca Town Center Mall, it is the same exact thing. So that's telling you who lives around there. And these retailers are not stupid. They know who they're marketing to. So in general, those are going to be more expensive areas. But here's the good thing. In Boynton Beach, you're like, going back to the first pro, you're in the middle of everything. You're probably less than a half hour to the Gardens Mall, probably the #1 mall in all of Florida, definitely in this area. And down that way, which is close second probably in the area for sure, the Boca Town Center Mall. And later we're going to take you the shopping that you have here, because believe it or not, they have a mall here in Boynton Beach. So as I walk across this is A1A, this is the road right off the ocean. I mentioned before, one of the pros when it comes to living in this area here in Palm Beach, in Boynton Beach, is there's a lot of activities. I know I've mentioned it, but I want to mention it from this perspective. This road, especially if you come here, like on a Saturday, You will see bicycles, like bicycle clubs here. If you're into bicycling, this is a great place. Arguably, it's a little bit dangerous, but they do it when you join these bicycle clubs. They sort of stay together, and it's safety in numbers, as they say. And here's your so you can get that. Here's your intercoastal, and you see a boat coming through here. Again, I've seen water skis come through here. Those nice restaurants are down near here. So I mentioned the expensive homes. Let me go into some of the homes that you can expect if you're looking to buy here in Boynton Beach. Off the beach, tens of millions of dollars, right? Backyard to the beach. Hard to touch those. If you go back here, that is the intercoastal. And the homes off the intercoastal are still very nice. They're not as expensive as what you're going to get. Look at these fishing boats. They're not as expensive as what you're going to pay for over on the ocean side, but they're expensive. I mean, it's like $5 million type of stuff. As we go west, that's where the real building is. Again, the average price in the county is $650,000. One of the pros when it comes to moving to Boynton Beach is it is often associated with some really high-end schools. I know that schools are important to lots of families moving to the area, and if that's you, listen up. Here at Living in Palm Beach, Florida, we are a new home co-broker with eXp Realty, and we speak to all you guys looking to move down here, and we hear the schools being an important factor a lot. A lot of people look at Wellington. If you haven't ever seen, look at my Wellington, pros and cons of Wellington, Florida. The people who look there are looking there exclusively for schools, primarily, because they have a reputation of having A-rated schools. Here in Boynton Beach, there's a couple of really high-rated schools. What we can do, as an example, Park Vista High School is a very well-renowned, high-regarded public school. There are lots of private schools. You can do that, but that'll cost you money. But if you want to be districted for a public school, high quality, we could actually put that school in and do your search on MLS with only that school in mind. How cool is that? Later, we're going to talk a little bit about hurricanes, but I want to say this before we talk about that. That's where they come from. So that's the other factor with living on the beach here or near the beach. There's a bit more of a risk when it comes to hurricanes, and your insurance is going to be a little bit different when it comes to living on the coast of Boynton Beach or western Boynton Beach. My name is Ray Fernandez. I'm with Living in Palm Beach, Florida, powered by eXp Luxury Homes. 19 years ago, my family and I relocated to this beautiful part of the world we call sunny South Florida, and we haven't looked back. Today, we truly find honor to help people, perhaps like you, do the exact same thing. So if you're thinking about moving to this area and you want to ask questions from people who have actually done it before, well, there's a few ways to get a hold of us. Down below is our email address. That's one great way. Also on the screen, you see our phone number. You can either call or text that number, but literally two of the best ways is in the description in the comment section. Click on that link. What that'll do is set some time for us to speak, either through a phone call or through a Zoom, whatever way you feel most comfortable. In any case, we have your back when it comes to relocating here to sunny South Florida. As you could probably see, I'm in the Boynton Beach Mall now. As you can probably see, there's nothing too extraordinary about it. It's good to have it shopping. If you live in the area, it's good to have some of the stuff here. I do know some of a lot of the malls in the area in general have a harder time keeping tenants because the rents are too high. But if you want to get things like there's a T-shirt station there's a Lids over there, T-Mobile's over there, Foot Locker. So they have some of that stuff, but it is a little bit of a sleepy sleepier mall compared to what else we have here around Palm Beach. The other nice mall that's sort of close to here is Wellington Green Mall. So if you have a choice between the high elaborate malls of the Boca Town Center Mall and the Gardens Mall up in Palm Beach Gardens, you're not going to probably pick this one, even compared to Wellington Green. Wellington Green is got a nicer mall. So shopping wise, it's good to have this here, but more of the other shopping is what we're going to show you a little bit later. And that's what I'll show you later is typical of what you can find in Boynton Beach. So here is your more typical shopping that you get in Boynton Beach. I'm at the Canyons Town Center, and I'm bringing you here for a couple of reasons. A lot of Boynton Beach is made up of just like strip malls and stuff. So this is definitely one of the more higher end of those. But they're all over the place. This one happens to be called Canyon Square because if you go along Lyons Road, which is a road that runs north-south here in Boynton Beach, there's a lot of new construction developments that, well, not today new construction, but probably about 8 years ago it was new constructions. They're all named canyons, this, Canyon Lakes, Canyon this, Canyon that. When some people say, where do you live? They say the canyons, they mean that. This is the Canyon Town Center. This concept has been adopted in other communities, like the Alton Town Center up in Palm Beach Gardens. They built the community Alton, high-end single-family homes by the builder Coulter, and they built like a bunch of shopping around it. And I counted. If you look at the Alton Town Center, there are 18 restaurants there. I mean, from like regular, like lower end stuff to really high end, like Lenora's is there. It's a really nice Italian restaurant. The same concept is here. Nice Greek place I've been to before, right down the street, which is across the street from Chipotle. So you got everything going on here. But I don't know how well you can see it, but the sign says Canyon Town Center offices. So they run this thing very efficiently. The corridor of Lyons Road is where a lot of new construction is. If you're looking at 55 plus building, one of the best new construction 55 plus is Valencia Grand. I'm sorry, Valencia Grand just sold out. But just south of that, they're selling Valencia Del Mar. We've written contracts in that community. We know the builders better than anyone. We are a new home called broker, as I mentioned earlier. Don't walk into those sales center on your own. I'm not going to go into that too much here, but do not walk into that sales center on your own. Reach out to us I'll tell you why. You really do want independent representation. But the amenities in Valencia Del Mar is top notch. Same thing with Valencia Grand, and prior to that, Valencia Sound. This area is filled of Valencias. Valencia is like code word for 55 plus in for the GL Homes, which is the builder label. Also, continuing on the school theme of that, one of the pros by living in this area here of Boynton Beach is down the street is called Somerset Academy. It is it's a charter school. It's highly rated, and you will see a lot of the charter school kids coming to the Chipotle and the Starbucks there and hanging out. It's like one of the things they do here. But that's a good school. It goes up through high school. There's a Somerset Academy up in Palm Beach Gardens. It is going to be the school for Avenir. That's our #1 community in terms of homes that we've sold this year. It's the hottest area probably in Palm Beach. There's a lot of different towns around here. If you can easily make a mistake, do not make a mistake. Even within Boynton Beach, I drove from the beach to the mall to here, and I passed so many different neighborhoods. I went from like a very modest, like below modest type of home that's been there from a long time, because back when people first moved here, going back decades and decades ago, those are kind of homes that were there. As they moved further west, the communities got a little bit more elaborate. There's some golf communities out there, like the Westchester Golf Club, Westchester Country Club is nearby. You'll see people driving their golf carts from their homes onto these courses. There's a lot of nice courses here. Lacuna is down the street too. So if you're a golfer, this is an area definitely to consider as well. But on the subject of being careful, I also passed Aberdeen. Aberdeen I get a lot of people ask about that community, and the reason is is because they look at MLS, look at like what's for sale there, and they see this brilliant house for like $150,000, something crazy, or $200,000, and big house. I want to see that. Well, did you tell you it's a membership community? We have membership communities in this area, in Palm Beach as a whole, but that one's in Boynton Beach. You have to be careful. I'm not putting Aberdeen down, but there's a high fee for the golf and for the social aspect to be there, plus a high initiation fee. All membership communities have initiation fees, and it could be $150,000. So sometimes that makes it not as marketable. And so the prices of those homes are depressed because of it. You need to be a little bit careful. That's why I say use a realtor if you're looking at these places. You do not want to make a mistake when living and moving to Boynton Beach, Florida. So one of the themes that we're seeing here too in this area is because there's been some well-established older golf courses here, and some of the golf courses might not be as productive. People going and playing golf. Like in the case of the Enclave at Sherwood and Delray Trails down there, which is close. Delray's just south of us. They literally knocked the whole thing down, like closed off the golf course, plowed it out, and they made a new community out of it. So they have a new construction community. This community is always readdressing itself, like revitalizing itself. And that's one of the things that you'll see a lot of. There are plenty of golf courses still nearby, but some of the older ones are being redone, and they're putting up new construction communities in the area, revitalizing here the living in Boynton Beach, Florida. A couple of things I wanted you to know. I talked about not making a mistake. There are some good towns surrounding here. So there's a lot of little smaller towns here. Borderline Lake Worth. You get a lot of people like they'll wonder whether it's in Boynton Beach or Lake Worth, because they're right next to each other, and the neighborhoods are similar. Couple of neighborhoods communities that I can mention. A big one called Smith Farm. That we've helped people in that community. Very, very large community. Was new construction going back probably about 15 years ago now. It's borderline Lake Worth, Boynton Beach. And sometimes people don't know if you're in Boynton Beach or if you're in Lake Worth. Lantana's nearby, an old fishing village. A little bit more, it's got a little bit of an artistic charm to it. But it's not, I wouldn't mistake it for Boynton Beach, but it's close. As I mentioned earlier, a lot of people go to Delray for things. A lot of people go to West Palm Beach. Like within this area, there are a lot of little smaller towns. If you live in Boynton Beach, you're pretty much in the center of everything. And as I mentioned, that's one of the pros when it comes to moving to and living in Boynton Beach, Florida. The people that we're helping more often than not right now is in new construction in this area. Just a little bit south in the Delray area, you have Lotus Edge, Lotus Palm. Those are two big ones. I mentioned Valencia Del Mar. Right down the street, I think it's technically considered Lake Worth, but it's borderline Lake Worth and Boynton Beach is Greyhawk Landing. We just did a video on that one. That's one to watch out for. A little bit north of that, that's a Devasta builder, which is a Pulte Home parent company. Just north of that is Hendricks Reserve. Right now, you can get a super good deal on homes right now. There's lots of incentives. There's at least 2 builders that are coming up against their fiscal year end. And when that happens, then you can just smell the money. What that means is that when the fiscal year end comes, a lot of these companies are inclined to give better deals because they want to make sales prior to their fiscal year end ending. And so if you want to navigate where you can get some of these better deals with new construction, reach out to Living in Palm Beach, Florida. So whether you're looking about taking pictures on the beach, whether you're looking for some great restaurants or places to shop, whether you want to look at these high-end luxury communities, we got you covered here at Living in Palm Beach, Florida. Boynton Beach, Palm Beach, paradise here in South Florida.